My sister said my daughter was not good enough to be her flower girl and replaced her with her husband's white cousin. Now she's going hysterical because I am ruining her big day. I have a sister who got married last month. I'm going to be blunt. My sister has always been one of those people who has to have everything perfect, to the point that sometimes it was hard to be around her. But she was my little sister, and I have no other siblings, so I always made excuses when she'd hurt me for doing things right in her eyes. I was kind of nervous when she asked me and my daughter to be bridesmaids in February because I knew she would be a massive bridezilla. Over the last few months, we have had to practice multiple dances, pay for very expensive dresses, and put up with her tantrums. I told her from the start that if she was in any way nasty to my child, I wouldn't stand for it. She assured me she'd never be nasty towards her favorite person worldwide. Well, her now husband's little cousin 8 started coming to dance practice with her mom, and my sister began asking her to do little things like show my daughter how to throw the petals. I honestly thought she'd make them both flower girls for a while, but when she started to make my daughter sit out and have the little girl recite her poem, I knew what was going to happen. But I prayed I was wrong. I invited her out for coffee a few weeks before the wedding and asked her what was going on. She told me she was glad I brought it up because she was looking for the right time. Apparently, my 4-year-old wasn't doing everything right, and she was afraid she was going to mess up her version by saying the wrong thing or not doing the dance right on the day. I told her she was doing a pretty good job, and everyone was always praising her. My sister giggled and said it's not their day now, is it? So it's not up to us what's good enough for her wedding. I asked her straight up if she thought her niece wasn't good enough to be in her wedding. She replied, not as something big as a flower girl, but to attend. I asked her how I was going to break it to my daughter, who's excited about being in the wedding. She just told me to figure it out. I told her I'd give her a day to rethink her decision. If not, we wouldn't be attending or speaking to her ever again before I left. 2 days passed. I couldn't put it off any longer, so I broke the news to my child. Even though I tried my hardest and sugarcoated it as much as possible, the news still broke her heart. She cried herself to sleep, so did I and my husband. Well, after a week, when I was a no-show for anything, my sister started to panic and got everyone to talk to me, even dropping off gifts for my daughter. When I told them why, a good number of our family, including the bridesmaids, dropped out. We ended up going away for a few weeks with no phones. When we came back, my sister had sent me multiple letters and emails apologizing. Her in-laws and husband have called me an a-hole for doing what I did. They showed up at my job, knowing I wouldn't want a scene. They begged me to delete the post before people they knew saw it and kept apologizing. Finally, my sister said she might be pregnant. I told her even if she is, pregnancy doesn't wash away all the crappy things she's done, and I hope her husband's siblings never treat her child the way she treated mine because I don't plan to be a part of her life. She burst into tears, saying she was sorry and she loves my daughter. I told her to leave before I called security and her husband tried to talk to me alone because I was making her so upset and everyone was cold towards them because of me. I told them no, everyone was cold because Cinderella and Prince Charming forgot that after treating everyone like poop that no one wanted to be happy ever after. They didn't like my mocking tone and raised their voice at me. My boss, who knows the situation and has a 5-year-old, herself, told them to leave, so she's on my side. My sister's mother-in-law reached out to my parents, asking for everyone to meet up on neutral terms so we can all work out our differences. I'm going to this dinner party because I want to hear their story and officially tell them to leave me alone. Update: my sister's photographer saw this post and reached out to me here. This goes deeper than my daughter not dancing well. Apparently, she overheard my sister's mother-in-law and aunt-in-law talking in the bathroom. They used slurs against my daughter and husband. They called me the black man's tart. The photographer said they were both intoxicated. But my brother-in-law also made jokes around my sister earlier in the day, which she smiled at. She also thinks my family members heard it, and it's the reason they dropped out. So yeah, my daughter wasn't a flower girl because, unlike me, her aunt, or the other flower girl, she doesn't have blue eyes and blonde hair. If you're reading this, Sarah and Frank, F you and your family. My child is too good to be around trash like you both.